Here's your wrestling news for May 4th, 2021. And if you like what you're watching, smash that like button and give us 1,000 likes or more. And your headlines for today include: WWE breaks Mansoor's impressive 49-match winning streak during Raw debut. Why fans are furious with WWE for bringing back Eva Marie. Marie comments on her return. WWE books a pay-per-view worthy main event match for next week's Raw. WWE wrestler released discovers having massive heat with Vince McMahon. Former WWE champion returns to action after long absence and with new partners. Braun Strowman opens up about last-minute changes in WWE creative. Yet another WWE wrestler comes forward and complains on receiving someone else's gear in trash bag after WWE release. Impact Wrestling has big problem with current champions. Riddle lands awkwardly during his WWE Raw match. AEW wrestler is out of action with legit injury, and more. We are kicking off today with Raw, as this week's show saw the Raw debut of Mansoor, who signed a main roster contract with Adam Pearce. Mansoor didn't have to wait long for a title opportunity as he faced United States champion Sheamus, his latest opponent in Mansoor's winning streak. Unfortunately for the Saudi star, Sheamus would break Mansoor's near 2-year streak as Humberto Carrillo, who the Irishman attacked earlier in the night, would interfere, giving Sheamus the DQ win and becoming the one in 49-1. Though it wasn't a decisive loss, it was still a loss, ending the 49-match winning streak which began in August 2019, which was reportedly done to appease higher-ups in Saudi Arabia. In his homeland, Mansoor has toppled some huge names such as Cesaro and Dolph Ziggler, but now he has an L on his record thanks to the United States champion. Mansoor wasn't even the only big appearance this week. Months after it was reported that she'd signed a new deal, Eva Marie has returned to the WWE. Appearing in a video package, Eva, now sporting pink hair, asks fans if she has their attention, and the answer is yes. On Twitter, fans were furious about WWE signing the former Total Divas star, with some fans arguing that the women's division is going backwards by signing Marie mere weeks after releasing the popular Mickie James and the Iconics. Marie actually returned to WWE long before these releases, as she reportedly signed a deal in October and was added to the internal roster in January. Whilst Marie was brought back before these releases and had nothing to do with them, that won't stop fans getting angry about this situation, whilst some fans are hoping that she doesn't actually return, given that she has only been in a video vignette so far. On Twitter, Eva tweeted if fans are ready for the Evolution, and we only hope it goes better than the Emma-lution of 2017. It's impressive that after 4 years away, Eva Marie can still get heat from the crowd, and what do you think of Eva Marie's return to WWE? Fans will have to wait with bated breath to see when Marie returns in person, but they won't be waiting long for a huge WrestleMania 37 rematch. After this week's Raw saw WWE Champion Bobby Lashley face Braun Strowman in non-title action, the Almighty Champion will face his other Backlash opponent, Drew McIntyre, next week. This match will also be non-title action, and time will tell who will build momentum en route to the Triple Threat WWE Championship match on May 16th at WrestleMania Backlash. Now, last month, WWE released Steve Cutler not long after he teamed with Wesley Blake as the Knights of King Corbin, and Cutler's release reportedly came because Vince McMahon was furious he tested positive. Speaking to Fightful this week, Cutler discussed what happened, saying he found out there was major heat on him on the journey home after discovering he'd tested positive. "I'm on my way home, and then here I am getting texts from Blake. Get a phone call. Hey, do you have heat? Like, for something you've done?" I'm like, "I don't know, why?" He goes, "Somebody's kind of pissed, and a few people said in a meeting that Vince wanted to fire you at that moment. And I had a few friends that were at that meeting as well." I was like, okay, that's good. So of course, I sent a message to Mark Carrano saying, "Hey, I don't know what's going on or what's being thrown around. If there's anything you need to talk to me about, please call me, text me, let me know what's up." No answer. That's how I found out, pretty much. I had COVID that day, quarantined for the next week, kept in contact with writers, still no answer back from higher of writer teams and creative team. Yeah, what a time. So it's just one of those moments of loss. Cutler tested positive after attending a party in the home of Matt Cardona and Chelsea Green, and his positive test and subsequent firing sent shockwaves through the entire WWE locker room. Prior to his release, Cutler was teamed with Leslie Blake once again, and they were King Corbin's Knights of the Lone Wolf, though the angle went quiet after Cutler had to take time off for his positive test. In his Fightful interview, Cutler explained that when he returned, Mark Carrano told him creative had nothing for him, something he knew was a lie because his name had come up during creative. SmackDown News now, and this Friday's show will be a special throwback edition of the Blue brand, but details are scarce for what that actually means. Though Kevin Owens has said he's hoping to jump off the giant fist used from 2001 to 2008, fans don't know if the fist will be used, and apparently neither do those making plans in WWE. When Ringside News asked around about the plans for Throwback SmackDown, they learned that nobody knows what's going on backstage either, and that WWE's announcement was, quote, a total surprise to those working behind the scenes. Right now, it seems anything is on the table as no plans have been confirmed, and whilst it's expected that some legends from SmackDown's past will appear, right now, the creative team are just as much in the dark about this Friday's show as the fans. More from Raw, which this week saw Charlotte Flair force her way into a Raw Women's title match at WrestleMania Backlash, and this isn't as bad as fans are thinking. Before Flair interfered, the plan was for the Raw Women's Champion Rhea Ripley to face Asuka, a match that fans just saw at WrestleMania, and like the insertion of Braun Strowman into the WWE title picture, adding the Queen to this feud gives a whole new dimension to the contest. For all the hate she gets online, a reality WWE are thankfully taking advantage of now, Flair is arguably the most gifted performer in WWE history, having had great matches with Ripley and Asuka in the past, and we expect the triple threat to be one for the ages. There's also the question mark about Raw and SmackDown Authority figure Sonya Deville and how she factors into things, as although Flair has certainly benefited from Deville reinstating her, perhaps the massively talented star could be building to an in-ring return of her own. So many questions exist about the Raw Women's Championship division, and that's not a bad thing at all. Asuka's reign as champion may not have been the best, but Ripley's reign could change it all, especially when she holds her own against two of the WWE's best ever women. One person who's very familiar with winning at Backlash is Jinder Mahal, who's returned to action after 4 months away. On Main Event, taped before Raw, it was the battle of the former WWE champions, as Mahal faced Jeff Hardy, with the modern-day Maharaja having NXT's Indus Sher by his side. This is the first time fans have seen Mahal since the Superstar Spectacle event in January, which was created for WWE's India market and saw Drew McIntyre team with Indus Sher to defeat Mahal and the Bollywood Boys. Now, in 2015, WWE launched their Women's Revolution, the company's take on female empowerment, which has seen female superstars go from 30-second matches to headlining WrestleMania. While there's been leaps in female representation, many people believe WWE still hasn't changed their attitude in a major way, and this week, Maria Kanellis-Bennett openly called out Stephanie McMahon. Speaking on the Kawada Driver show, the ROH star said that McMahon's support of the Women's Revolution is more about PR than the actual women, and argued that the lack of a second all-female event is proof. She added, "You have the opportunity to do a women's empowerment pay-per-view and you don't do it? I don't get it. I don't know how Stephanie McMahon deals with that." Kanellis also argued that if she were in charge, the female superstars would have their own show, reality show, and various other projects that Stephanie hasn't achieved. Time will tell if WWE ever hosts a second Evolution pay-per-view, but for now, Maria clearly feels that Stephanie's talk of female empowerment is all talk. Given Vince McMahon's on-the-fly booking, an all-female event could be announced tomorrow or may never happen, as plans can change on a dime nowadays in WWE, something that Braun Strowman knows all too well. Speaking to Bleacher Report, Strowman brought up WWE's ever-changing plans, saying, "It's been a little chaotic because everything's been all over the place and people get sick and things change last minute, and part of me enjoys that, I'm not gonna lie." Strowman gave the example of last week's Raw, where he competed in 3 matches because plans changed, partly due to superstars getting sick, and though the former Universal Champion said he was freaking out, it was a satisfying feeling when the show went off the air. The monster among men also discussed WWE's struggling viewing figures, but carefully avoided blaming WWE themselves for the poor ratings, saying, "It's a tough time right now. It's a challenge for everything that's on television to try and draw live viewership. I'll be honest, I haven't even had cable in my house in the last decade. I keep up with our shows via our apps and social media." There's a lot going on in WWE right now, as they need to keep producing content whilst dealing with the ongoing situation. But by the sounds of it, Braun Strowman will carry on with Vince McMahon, and it sounds like he's in it for the long haul. Last month, Mickie James made headlines when she received her personal items from WWE in a trash bag, but she wasn't the only released superstar treated this way. While speaking on her 50 Shades of Green podcast, Chelsea Green said that she too received a trash bag full of gear, but it was extra suspicious when the first two items she pulled out were black wrestling boots that didn't belong to her. She added, "The third item was the most gorgeous little leather shrug with studs and diamonds and little flappy things and pink jewels and all sorts of things. Now, if you know women's wrestling, you know that the person who wears black leather with pink is always the same person. That is always going to be Natty." At this time, Natalya hasn't commented on her clothes being sent to the wrong Canadian, and hopefully Green will have the right gear wherever she goes next. If Green joins Impact alongside her fiancé Matt Cardona, then she'll be entering a wildly popular promotion thanks in part to their deal with AEW, but a promotion that is also facing a huge problem. As reported by Fightful, every single champion in Impact is an issue for the promotion, with all of them being from another company, not signed to a deal, or their contracts are up very soon. It's worth mentioning that both Impact World Champion Kenny Omega and the Impact World Tag Team Champions FinJuice are with other companies and have no contracts with Impact themselves. Perhaps Impact's reasoning is that putting titles on non-contracted performers could coax more big names into appearing on Impact programming down the line, but right now, the company is playing a risky game with many of its top names. More from WWE as RK Bro continued their winning ways this week, but only after a messy botch from Riddle. Hitting the floating bro, Riddle landed awkwardly on Elias's head in what was quickly labeled a botch by fans online, and we're hoping that Elias doesn't suffer any long-term consequences from this. It's a shame that Elias, for all his talent, has no storylines right now and hasn't been prominently featured in a long time. Mistakes happen in wrestling, so we doubt this will cause any problems for Riddle or RK Bro, who continue to be one of the best parts of Monday Night Raw. Worrying news for Kip Sabian fans next, as after being attacked by Miro, the AEW star is on the shelf. Ironically, after the Miro attack, Sabian tweeted that surgery was coming, and though it was meant to be a threat at the Bulgarian, it'll now be Sabian going under the knife. Fightful reports that Sabian was put on the shelf in late April, though at this time there's no word on what injury he has or just how long it'll be before the 28-year-old star returns to AEW programming. And we're ending today with Shayna Baszler, who's amassed a massive fan base since joining WWE, a fan base scammers are willing to exploit. On Instagram, one fan received a message from Elizabeth, who claimed to be the personal assistant of the Queen of Spades, and said she'd like to set up a private chat between the fan and the superstar. Instead, the fan posted a screenshot of the DM and reported the scammer, which caught the attention of Baszler herself, who joked about having a PA with poor grammar and a profile picture of feet in an armpit. Sure enough, the scammer did have feet in an armpit as their picture, and though we don't encourage any kind of scams, we'd like to think that any would-be personal assistant wouldn't use this sort of picture on their LinkedIn. Well guys, that's our news for today. Please share your comments below. Also hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell icon to receive all notifications. And as always, thanks for watching.